Guys and girls, welcome back to the Gilly Bikes channel. Today I am going on a bike that quite a few people have asked for. I do requests, what can I say? I've gone in today and I've seen the bike in there that it's been requested quite a lot over the last couple of weeks, so of course I've begged for the keys, and yeah, it's today's bike. Let's have a look. So this is it. Now, when it comes to scooters, every scooter review I do, there is generally somebody in the comments saying, can you please do a review on the Yamaha Nmax? Well, your wish is my command. This is today's review. It is the Yamaha Nmax 125, and you can see this one is finished in this nice red. Yeah, let's have a look round the usual way. Let me know in the comments what you think. But of course, after I've done the walk round, after we've gone through the specs, I will be taking it for a ride as well. So I'm going to see what the performance is like. We'll take it onto a national speed limit road. We'll see how it compares to the cheaper bikes. Now this one is a used example. It's a 2021 bike, and it's currently up for sale for £2,899. Now, is that a bargain? Well, I'll let you know after I've ridden it, because I don't know yet. We'll see how nice it is to ride. But before we do that, let's have a look round. So there is your close-up. Now, there's been quite a few reviews I've done recently of this styled bike. You know, not the standard step through, the more ADV type looking bike. And yeah, this is what you would arguably call the premium version of those bikes, the expensive Japanese version. So we'll see. Is it as good as, is it better than those bikes I've been on recently? Looks wise, looks are always a subjective thing. This looks alright. It's doesn't look any nicer than the MGB SST I took out recently. In fact, I'd probably say I like that better. Dual shocks at the rear. Previously on scooter videos, I like this style just purely because you've got a number of different options for your feet. You've got your standard just foot down position, but then you've got your leg stretch position as well. It is the benefit of having this style, I think, your different leg positions. Brakes wise on this, you've got a single piston caliper at the front on a single disc, and exactly the same at the rear, single piston caliper, single disc. This does come with ABS. There was my reminder. Currently on its centre stand, and there is a side stand. One thing I've got to say Yamaha do actually do really well at is this bike. It's quite a meaty thing. It's quite a beefed up scooter, but the weight of it, 131 kilograms, which I think for a bike of this type is actually quite low. Certainly comparing it to other bikes I've done recently, like the MGB SST, like the Keyway and all of the other XDVs and all the other lots to mention, very similar style, but they seem to be at least 10 kilograms heavier. Let's see how easy it is to take off the center stand. Little nudge forward, not a lot really, and just moving it around in general because it is so light. Not an issue for anybody looking to downsize or anybody that wants to wheel the scooter about in the garage or wherever you're putting it. It's an easy bike to do it. Putting it back onto the center stand, possibly one of the easier ones I've ever done. So yeah, we're off to a good start. Fuel tank on this, 8 litres, or just under 8 litres I believe, but it's a 125cc bike. It is going to do over 100 miles per gallon, I'm sure. If you've got one, let me know. Always interested to hear from an owner. So at the beating heart of this bike is a 125cc motor. It delivers 12 horsepower or 9 kilowatts in new money. As far as top speed goes, well, I don't know. But I am going to find out if it can do 60. I'm going to take it on my performance test and we'll see how it gets on. Let's have a look under the seat. Now, that is a lot of storage. There is a lot of storage there. Now, a lot of people do ask me, why don't you put a full face helmet in? You say it fits a full face helmet, why don't you show us? Well, I always say, if there is a lot of obvious storage space underneath, I don't bother, because I can see that a full face helmet is going to rattle around in that. It is a very deep underseat bit of storage there, so I don't need to grab a helmet. I just know one is going to fit. A full face will have no problems there whatsoever. Bike is keyless, so yeah, to open the seat, to open the fuel, yeah, you've got to have the key fob in your pocket, but easy enough, it's just worked perfectly. So you've got an open bit of storage here, which does have a 12 volt charger in there. Let's see how deep that is. Yeah, I can go down all the way to my wrist, so yeah, it is quite deep. And there is another one over here. Let's have a look at this one. So yeah, that one not so deep. That I'm probably getting to maybe the start of my thumb. Yeah, maybe all right for a bit of loose change or something in there, but yeah, you're not going to get a great deal in that. Motorbike like in appearance, with horn indicators, high and low beam, but instead of a flash, we've got a menu button, so we'll have a look at that when the screen's on shortly. Right hand side, you've got your engine start. There is hazard warning lights, and then auto stop start. I like that, you can switch it off. I still find it a bit weird when the bike just cuts out and then it starts again as soon as you touch the throttle, but yeah, I don't know whether it's necessary on a 125. Let me know if you've got one. Does it actually save you that much fuel? I know as any saving is a good saving, but does it save you a lot? Let me know in the comments. And a screen on, so it is just an LCD screen, so surprises me when you've got a keyless bike that it doesn't come with a flashy TFT or something. It's quite an old school looking thing. You've got a nice big speedo, there is a clock, there's a fuel gauge, there is your total miles. This has only done 1,800 miles, so again it's another low mileage example. There's not a great deal happening on there. Let me press the menu button, see if anything changes. So what have we got? We've got the average miles per gallon. It's saying it's averaging 120 miles per gallon, so that is very good for a 125 bike of this size. Traction control, what have we got? Trip computers, all that. Yeah, it's just all the standard stuff on there. But if you don't want to throw your leg over, you can put your leg through at the front. It is lowered at the front, so it is a little bit easier than throwing it over the back. Taking off the centre stand, nice and easy while you're on it, so not a problem with that. And you can probably tell how low the seat height is. 765 millimeters. So I'm 5'8" with a 29-inch inseam. My legs are, yeah, I've got quite a bend in the knees. I'm flat foot both sides. You could be quite a bit smaller than me and still have no problems flat footing this bike. So it will suit the shorter rider. And with it being a scooter of this type, yes, you can shuffle back in the seat. So if I go to the back of the seat that's available for the rider, I'm now on my tiptoes. So don't think it's just going to suit a small rider, because somebody taller will find this comfortable as well. The seat is nice and wide, and there seems to be quite a lot of padding, but not too much. Actually feels like a comfortable place to park your backside. And that's good as well. If I'm at the back of the seat, I can stretch my legs out fully. Now if you've got longer legs, that might not be an option for you. But and getting off the bike, yeah, it's just easy having that lower part at the front. Pop it on the side stand for now. So the only thing left for me to do now is to take it for a ride. Let's see what all the fuss is about. Looking around the bike, it does look like a very well made and a decent looking bike, but at the moment looking around it, I'm not looking at this and thinking this is so much better than the cheaper MGB that I went on a couple of weeks ago. And bear in mind, that bike was £400 cheaper than this, and that was brand new. So this bike has got to be good on the test ride for me to justify it in my head, because there are some good cheap alternatives out there. So what makes this better? Hopefully I'll find out on the test ride. Stay with me. People have been saying this is the one, this is the one, so it's going to be interesting. This is, I'm hoping, going to astound me in the ride. I hope anyway. I hope. So, turning on this bike, I've got the keys in my pocket. It should be as simple as ignition on. Yeah, and it is nice and easy. As long as you've got the key on you somewhere, and in my case, it's in my pocket. Let's see what it's like. Decent turning circle. I was just there, I've come round, plenty of room from the gate. Yeah, decent turning circle on it, and I've already noticed actually the throttle is very responsive, so the slightest twist and you have got your wheels moving, so that's a good sign. It's a good sign so far. And I mentioned this with and I keep mentioning the MGB SST, the cheap MGB SST. When I did the cobble test on that, very similar to that, no rattles, no noise, nothing. It just feels very well made. And we'll see, can we get to 30 before the end of the road? Yeah. So this does feel a little bit more responsive to again, I'm just comparing that MGB because it was the most recent scooter of this type that I went on. With that, I ran out of courage and got to about 29 miles an hour. Now I've just got to 30 there, and it did feel quicker. There is no doubt in it, this does feel like a quick scooter. Up to 30 miles an hour. Now that's all I've done so far, so we'll see. We'll see how it copes on the faster roads very, very shortly. The longer I'm riding it and looking at this, yes, it does look fairly basic at the front as far as the screens and stuff go, but it looks very well made. You can see with the plastics, there's no like misshape or gaps where there shouldn't be. It just looks very, very well built. Yeah, just the slightest twist of the throttle and yeah, 40 miles an hour comes very easily. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a performance test. I want to see, is this bike going to get to 60 miles an hour? For me is the magic number. If it can do 60, I'm happy. Anything above that is a bonus. There's little to no vibration with it. Nothing through the seat. I'm not getting any vibrations on my backside, nothing on my hands. The mirrors, yeah, they're not vibrating. Very, very comfortable bike to ride. so far, yeah, it's living up to its praise that it's been getting in the comments. We're on a national speed limit now. I'm going uphill. See if we can get to 60 mile an hour uphill. No, we seem to have, 58. 58 feels like it's all it's going to do uphill. I'll just have to ease off because he's slowing us down. But 58 on that stretch uphill isn't actually that bad, because I've been on bikes that have surpassed 60 miles an hour on the flat, but on that stretch of uphill they've been doing 54, 55. Let's stop there. So this is a national speed limit road in the UK. It carries a 60 miles an hour speed limit, and I am going to try and get this bike to 60 miles an hour as quickly as I possibly can. I've done this test loads of times on loads of different bikes. Some bikes haven't even managed to get to 60 mile an hour, and there probably is about 2 miles worth of road here. Some bikes have got to 60 quickly, some have taken longer than others, and yeah, I want to see how this compares to those bikes. So I've got a break in traffic, so I'm just going to get straight to it. So full twist, let's go. Now, I don't think there's going to be a problem getting to 60. Now, the GSXR by Suzuki was at 60 at this point. This is at 56. So, yeah, it's not quite made the bend, because this is where the good ones usually have got to 60 by now. I am heading into a bit of a wind here. I feel like I'm blowing quite a lot, getting a face full of wind. 58, 59, 60. Okay, so I would say, oh, it's trying to sneak over 60 now. We are on a downhill bit, so it is cheating a little bit, but it got to 60 mile an hour on the flat, and I would put it as an average performer. The disappointing thing for me, kept the throttle on full. I thought this maybe was going to get to 60 before the bend, but then it hit 55 mile an hour, and then it just seemed to hold at 55. It seemed to just not want to go faster than that, but as soon as I got round the bend, it just seemed to have like a second lease of life, and the speed creeped up to 60 miles an hour. So it does ease off a little bit. At 55 miles an hour the increase seems to slow down, but it still happens. I just thought it was gonna do it. I thought it was gonna surprise the hell out of me, because it did get to 55 as quick as a lot of the really good performers. You've had one of these, how fast have you had out of yours? If I walked into Moto with £2,899 in my pocket, would I pick this over one of the Chinese bikes? Yeah, do you know, I'm gonna say I would, but there's a few reasons for it, and I'm going to explain myself. Keyways, the MGBs, the Vosges, Sim, they all do a version of this bike that is new, around the same price as this, some cheaper, some slightly more expensive. But the reason I would pick this over those bikes is that this bike is a used bike. It's lost a bit of money, it's lost the VAT, it's lost the bike, it's lost the money that new bikes lose when they roll out, which means that the others haven't. As a new bike, you ride out, your VAT on that, so like 20% disappears the second you ride them out the car park, whereas this has already lost that. So you will lose less money on this bike long term. This has already took the big hit, so I think value for money now, this is probably a better bike long term. I think if you got one of these and kept it for a year or two and sold it, you would lose less money on one of these than you would do going buying a bike slightly cheaper but a new bike, because that new bike would be worth 20% less the second you ride it out. So yeah, I think you've got to consider that when you're buying a bike. Now, if this bike wasn't in there, then yeah, I'd be more than happy buying one of those Chinese bikes, the MGB, the Vos, the Morbidelli, the Kiwi, the Sims, cheaper bikes, cheaper than these Japanese ones anyway. I'd be more than happy with any of them. I don't think it looks as nice as a lot of the other bikes that I've mentioned, but I think performance, build quality, and the fact that you're going to save that money, I think for me it makes it a very, very sensible choice. You might walk into Moto and look at the other bikes and go, they look so much nicer than this, and I do think that they do, but this is just a very, very good, sensible option. If I had money to burn, I would go in and I would probably buy one of the others because I like the styling better and I like the fact they've got TFT screens and all that stuff. However, if I'm using my own money, like if I'm looking at myself now, being someone that doesn't have money to burn, that has to look after the pennies, you know, I've got to look after my money because I don't have much of it. I think common sense would be, if you're looking for a 125 scooter and, you know, the performance is good on this, the looks aren't bad, it's very well made, you can see the build quality is exceptional. Yeah, there's just a lot of positives for this bike, and I think long term it's going to be a better financial decision because you'll be able to get more for it, or you'll not so much get more for it, you'll lose less money, because you always lose money on a motorbike. The same as you do with a car. The more miles you do, the more years you do, bikes lose money, cars lose money. It's just a fact of life. But I think this will lose less money than the others because of all the reasons I've just spouted. So yes, this bike is available at Moto. Like I've said, if I had money to burn, I'd go and buy that Kiwi one. I just think it's a lovely looking thing, and the performance isn't as good, but I just like the looks of it. I like how it rides. This, however, yeah, if it was my money now and I was going to buy one now and I wanted to keep it for a year and then sell it for something else, this is just a no-brainer. This is the one I'd go for. That's going to do me. A good bit of kit, thoroughly recommended by myself. It's available at Moto. Should you want it, I'll put a link in the description. Catch you on the next one. Laters.